Nobody said he was fixable. 4 families returned him. The file on Kennel 6 at Maplewood Cat Rescue was 12 pages long for a 16-pound Persian who had the face of something that had run out of patience for being misunderstood a long time ago. A retired teacher drove to the shelter to drop off a donation bag and was not planning to stay more than 10 minutes. 2 years later, she is still there. And what happened on a Saturday afternoon in March explained everything she had been trying to understand from the beginning. Nobody said he was fixable. The vet who had seen him 3 times said it less gently than the rescue coordinator had. 4 families had come and gone. The file on Kennel 6 at Maplewood Cat Rescue was 12 pages long for a 16-pound Persian who had the face of someone who had read your diary and found it disappointing. His name was Rupert. Carol Simmons was 62 years old, 31 years teaching 4th grade in California, then retirement, then a house that was slightly too quiet. Her husband had moved out 18 months earlier. Her daughter called on Sundays. Her doctor had mentioned at her last annual checkup that loneliness had measurable effects on cardiovascular health, which Carol had partially reconsidered at 3 in the morning on a Tuesday. She was not a cat person. She had gone to drop off a donation bag for her neighbor who was recovering from surgery. She was not planning to stay more than 10 minutes. Rupert was in the far corner of Kennel 6 when she walked past. Not near the door, not at the back wall. The exact center, sitting in a posture that communicated a level of personal authority rarely achieved by anything that needed someone else to open its food. He was 16 pounds, the color of a very expensive autumn sunset, with fur that appeared to have its own organizational system, and a face that was, structurally speaking, pointed directly at you, but emotionally pointing somewhere else entirely. Persian, the card said, 4 years old, returned by 4 separate families. Reasons varied. The first family said he attacked their teenage son without warning. The second said he bit the father every time he sat in a specific armchair. The third lasted 11 days before calling and saying, quoted directly on the form, "He seems angry at everything." The fourth family had other cats. Rupert drove them to the farthest corner of the apartment in 6 days. The shelter staff had started calling him the situation. Carol read this file while standing at the kennel. Rupert watched her read it. He did not blink more than necessary. Then he stood, walked to the front of the kennel with the unhurried pace of someone who had decided this meeting was happening on his schedule, and sat down 4 inches from her hand on the other side of the wire. He did not purr. He did not rub against the wire. He looked at her the way you look at someone when you have assessed the situation and decided to give them one chance. She filled out the adoption paperwork before she had made a conscious decision to do so. The first week was informative. On day 1, Rupert walked a full circuit of the house, sat in the living room center, and regarded the furniture with the expression of someone shown a hotel room that did not match the description. On day 2, Carol reached across him and Rupert attached himself to her forearm with a speed that suggested this had been planned. She bled slightly. She said a word she had not used since a student knocked coffee onto her lesson plans. On day 4, she bought long-sleeved shirts in 4 colors. Rupert had opinions about everything: which chair Carol used, when dinner happened, expressed by sitting in her line of sight and producing a silence louder than most sounds, the television volume, the timing of her morning coffee, and when Carol returned after leaving, he would turn his back on her with the practiced efficiency of someone who had rehearsed this response and found it sufficient. He also discovered the bathroom faucet on day 6. She came back to find Rupert on the edge of the sink, his entire face positioned under the stream, eyes half closed, fur darkening at the nose. He stayed 9 minutes. When the water stopped, he looked at Carol with an expression that contained no gratitude whatsoever and walked away. After that, the tap dripped for 15 minutes every morning before breakfast. This was the arrangement. If you are still watching and have not subscribed yet, that honestly stings. These stories take everything we have. Hit subscribe. You are not going to want to miss what comes next. Carol started researching Persian cat behavior during week 3. She had been a teacher for 3 decades, and the instinct had not left her. She read about their sensitivity to routine disruption, their high intelligence, their need for enrichment. She found a veterinary care article describing Persian cats with abandonment histories as having elevated stress responses to change. She sat with that sentence for a long time. She thought about what 4 homes in 4 years must feel like for an animal that needed stability the way some animals needed water. She bought an egg carton, placed treats inside, and left it on the floor. Rupert approached it after 45 minutes, opened every compartment with his paw with the focus of someone completing a professional task, ate nothing, and left. She set up a water mat with floating objects. He stood in it for 6 minutes, batted 2 objects onto the floor, and left them there as a statement. Progress was not linear, but it was happening. The arm attacks became less frequent. Carol learned to recognize the stillness that came before one, the slight ear flatten, the tail that stopped. She would stand, say nothing, give him space. No reaction, no escalation. 31 years of 4th grade had taught her one reliable truth: you do not feed the behavior with attention. A routine developed the way good routines do, without announcement. Rupert began sleeping at the foot of her bed by week 6, simply by arriving one night and not leaving. He appeared in the kitchen at 6:15 every morning, on the counter beside the coffee maker, with the patience of something that has nowhere else to be. He began placing his paw on her knee while she read. Just the paw, barely any weight, there and then gone. The moment Carol understood came on a Saturday afternoon in March. She had been crying, quietly, the way a retired teacher does alone in a kitchen when the Sunday calls start feeling like not quite enough. Rupert arrived without sound, simply there, on the table, not attacking, not demanding the tap. He sat and looked at her with those flat Persian features that the world reads as grumpy, and that Carol, in that moment, understood were not grumpy at all. Just a face that had stopped performing happiness it did not feel. He stayed 40 minutes, did not purr, did not move, just present in the specific way that means something has decided you are worth sitting still for. Carol went to the rescue cat adoption page the following Monday and left a donation. She wrote in the comments, because they were right about him. Today, Rupert is 5 years old. He still attacks Carol's arm on Tuesdays, a pattern she has accepted as a standing appointment. He still requires the faucet drip before breakfast. He has destroyed 3 rugs, 1 lamp, and a chair. The veterinary care costs alone have exceeded what she paid for her first car. He sleeps at the foot of the bed every night. He is at the kitchen counter at 6:15 without fail. She is not a cat person. She would still tell you that. She is a Rupert person, which is a different and more specific category. Nobody said he was fixable. 4 families walked away. 1 retired teacher stayed, recognized a creature that had run out of patience for being misunderstood, and started over. It took long sleeves and a dripping tap and 31 years of knowing when to give something space. Some arrivals do not come with instructions. They come with 12 pages of reasons why it will not work. And then they sit down 4 inches from your hand and give you 1 chance. The question is whether you take it. Would you have given him a 5th chance? Tell me in the comments.